A shalom to the hopeful elect. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone who teach the truth and rule well. This is the brother Yatabia Ba'ala coming back from the GMS SF Bay Area camp. And I got a quick lesson today. All right, Lord's will is edifying. But this one just going into the topic of the draft. All right, World War III and, prophecy. All right, because, it's part of prophecy that this draft gets instituted, and, a lot of these people, especially these men, all right, women too, but mostly men, are going to be drafted for that Third World War. All right, and there's going to be a shortage of men, which is going to play into Isaiah 4:1. All right, and, a true man of the Lord shining. But I'm just going to read this. This is from Breaking News Telegram channel. All right, and it says, breaking, U.S. government quietly implements automatic draft registration for all men 18 through 26. It says the fiscal year 2026 NDAA signed December 18, 2025 includes this provision. It takes effect December 18th, 2026, all right, which is at the end of this year. Okay, this will automatically register all male U.S. citizens, residents aged 18 to 26 via data from other federal agencies. So, this will automatically register men, all right, for that draft, which, if you're not familiar with what's going on, which you should be, all right, this war is getting ready to pop off, all right. It's already going back and forth in Iran. Iran has closed the Strait of Hormuz specifically for, America and its allies' transports, Israel too. But, Lord's will, this goes full-scale World War III, which, the longer this progresses, the more it looks like it will be. Which, again, World War III is part of prophecy, all right? But let me grab this real quick in Revelation 11 chapter. And we bring this all the time, but you know what? It's speaking, okay? Revelation 11 and 14, it says, the second woe is past. The second woe is going into World War II. All right, it says, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. The third woe is talking about that World War III. And, the apostles were talking about it earlier. I think the Bishop Sakaran brought it out at camp. I think it was like 16 nations, but there's a handful of nations that are involved already. All right, of course, you got Iran, Israel, America, but Iran was bombing a lot of these different Saudi Arabian countries where American bases were being held. So a lot of these nations are already involved. Okay. Now, again, Lord's will, this progresses to World War III, but in World War III, it's going to cause a lot of troops to be pushed in that Middle Eastern region. Okay. So this draft plays hand in hand with that. All right. Let me grab this in Joel, the second chapter. A lot of, men over here from specifically America are going to be pushed all over. All these armies are going to gather, but specifically America. And this is why they have to institute a draft, because, if you look at the numbers for the U.S. Army, there's not a lot of people that want to join. All right, due to, who's in power, due to lack of incentives. That's why they're instituting this. All right. It says, Joel 2 and 20. It says, but I will remove far off from you the northern army. And who is this talking about? It's talking about America's army. All right. And what is it going to be composed of? A lot of men. Women too, but a lot of men. It says, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate. What is that? The Middle East, right? It says, with his face towards the East Sea, okay, which is that Persian Gulf. It says, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, which is the Red Sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he had done great things. And ultimately, all right, these armies are going to be destroyed. But you can see how, the Lord is getting ready to send these troops. But what do they have to happen first? All right? Or there's already troops going over there. I read an article the other day, they were sending a couple thousand Marines. But what's going to happen as well is they're going to have a draft. All right, they're going to draft a lot of these Americans, a lot of these Babylonians, and send them off to that Middle East. And they're not coming back. Apostle Tar says it all the time. They're not coming back. All right. And this goes into prophecy. All right. Let's go to the next chapter, Joel 3 and verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Okay, the third woe cometh quickly. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And the mighty men are waking up. You have this ancient Persian army, getting stirred up. What did America do? All right, what did Israel do? That land of Israel. Okay, they woke up these Persians and they're ready. They said they shut this straight down they could do it up to 6 months, even longer. They're going tit for tat. And America's looking real bad. These Israelis are looking real bad as well. Okay, but who else is going to get stirred up? Hey, the Russians, all right, the Chinese, the Moabites, all right, all these different nations. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. And this is a lot of nations putting a lot of their money, okay, their budgeting towards what? Military. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And this matches up with the Joel, the 2nd chapter. It's that same region, okay, that Persian Gulf area, the Middle East, okay, and Yahweh Shaphat, because what is it? Yahweh is going to judge. Who's he going to judge? These nations' armies, all right? And who's going to be over there? The American troops. Okay? It says, put you in a sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes. All right? It says in the NLT, thousands upon thousands. All right? And back in the KJV, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. And this is going to cause what? A lot of judgment. Okay? The scriptures say, the slain of the Lord shall be many. So again, this draft is getting ready to put a lot. What did it say? 18 to 26-year-olds. Okay? Men and women too, but mainly men towards that Middle East. And what's going to happen there? They're not coming back. Okay? They are not coming back. Let me jump over here to 2nd Ezra 16 and yep. I'll start at verse 22. It says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy, which, goes into the plagues that are coming. All right, Jacob's trouble, Esau coming down with great wrath, but ultimately the time of judgment. It says, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripe, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men. And what's going to be a big reason for that? All right, this war, judgment as well, the plagues too, famine. All right, but also, the Lord is going to get rid of a lot of these men and send them out to the Middle East for their judgment. It says, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 in the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of rocks, as in the orchard of olives. Upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives. Or when as a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and their ways and all their paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travail therethrough. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. And again, this is going to play into Isaiah 4:1. These men are going to be sent out. All right. And what are these women going to need? A man of the Lord if they're going to want to make it. All right. It says in the wars, again, in the main war that's coming is World War III. It says, shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So if they're not of the elect, they're out of here. Okay. And hey, the elect aren't going to be sent over there to go fight for America. All right. That's going to be these Babylonians. So what's going to happen? There's going to be a lack of men. Okay. It says, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Now from there, let's jump to Isaiah 3. All right. Hey, this is prophecy right here where we're reading, and the scriptures tell us to measure the time. So when we see these things like this draft coming, what does that tell us? Prophecy is speaking. All right. Now, when you go to the end of Isaiah 3, straight to the point. It says, verse 25, it says, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. What war? World War III, in the valley of Yehoshaphat. It says, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being destitute shall sit upon the ground. Now, when you go to the very next chapter, what does that play right into? Isaiah 4:1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. All right. So because of the lack of men, these women are going to be vulnerable out here. All right. And these women are going to get right. And what are they going to want? What are they going to need to get right? To be called by the name of a man of the Lord. All right. And what is that? Hey, you're gonna get popped, like Apostle Tahar says. All right. You're going to become the woman of a man of the Lord. All right. And that's why a man of the Lord is going to have so much women, because, again, their bridegrooms, like we just read, all right, are going to be destroyed in that war to come. All right. So, again, this plays beautifully in the prophecy. All right. And see, we don't have to worry about none of this. Hey, if they want to institute the draft, the elect ain't going to do it. All right. If you're an elect man, that's not our lot. All right. Even if Esau wants to put us in prison, what do they call it? Draft dodging or whatever. Hey, so be it. The scriptures talk about being put into prison for that. For the namesake of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. The scriptures talk about being faithful. Okay. Remembering prophecy. Hey, this has to happen. But so be it. All right. We rather stand stiffly for what? Yahweh Shem Yahushai and the truth. All right. Not Esau and going to fight his war. It's a fake war. All right. I mean, it's prophecy. All right. But, what is it? It's a banker's war. All right. It's an Amalek war. Really. All right. But that's not our lot. Now, I'll end off on this. This is Ezekiel. All right. Just to show that there's going to be a lot of judgment. All right. The slain of the Lord is going to be many. So these men that are going to be drafted, what are they going? They're going for their destruction. All right. Ezekiel 39 and verse 14, it says, and they shall sever out men of continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth. So what's going to happen? Or after this thing goes down, there's going to be a lot of bodies out there, okay, in the Middle East and, in other parts of the world, that it's going to have to be cleaned up. And who's going to clean it up? The slaves, all right, the heathen. It says, and they shall sever out men of continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remained upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it. After the end of 7 months shall they search. So, after this war, after this destruction over here in America, there's not going to be anything left in America. It's going to be a desert. But over there, in the valley of Yehoshaphat and other places around the world, it's going to have to be cleaned up. All right. And who the elect are going to take these heathen, all right, starting with Amalek, all right, starting with Esau and these other nations, and put them in continual employment, slaves, to clean up the earth. Okay. But again, hey, as we see this, all right, this breaking, all right, this goes into effect again, December 18th, 2026. Draft all male U.S. citizens 18 to 26. All right. But hey, Lord's will, this is edifying. Once again, I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect, and above all.